Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to Who'd Win and Why. And this time we got Bane facing off against Johnny Cage. Now, before I start with this episode, there is one thing that I want to make very clear. Now, in each season of Who'd Win and Why, there's generally one or two episodes where I don't know a ton about one or two of the combatants. And unfortunately, this episode is one of those episodes. While I like to think I know quite a bit about Bane, enough to make this video, obviously, I don't know a ton about Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is one of those characters, I am familiar a bit with Mortal Kombat. I haven't had that much experience playing the games or anything like that, but there are some characters I know about, like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Johnny Cage is not one of them, though, so I had to rely a lot on the information that I read, the new information that was, news to me. So basically what I'm saying is that if you're looking for a video where I do, an in-depth analysis on both of these characters, and, I say, I know this person would win this fight, this is not that kind of video. This is just me giving my opinion on the versus battle, and who I personally think would win and why. Who'd win and why might be a bit misleading. It is just my personal opinion. And if you guys think that I missed something important, tell me in the comments below, because I'm always open to hearing what you guys have to say. But now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's move on with the episode. So, who'd win and why? Let's find out. So first I'm going to talk about Bane. Now, I talked about Bane in my 4th episode of Who'd Win and Why ever, which was Bane versus Juggernaut. I'm going to try to be a bit brief when it comes to Bane, although obviously that might not be the case because I tend to ramble on sometimes like I'm doing right now. But I'll try to be brief as best I can. And besides, I'm sure you guys know a lot about Bane as well. So even before Bane got, his venom, his steroid injections, he was already a ridiculously jacked guy. He trained both mentally and physically in prison, which I'll get more into the mentally stuff later. But he trained a lot in prison, physically, and already got to, peak physical condition. However, the venom that he injects into his body, he has this thing, this thing that he has with him that, just injects it, automatically. But yeah, that basically increases his physical stats immensely. So obviously this venom gives him superhuman strength, speed, agility, durability, endurance, all that good stuff. All the physical stats are pretty much increased to a superhuman level. When it comes to strength, he has been shown, obviously this goes for all of his physical stats, but when he injects more venom into his body, he is able to, get more strength and more durability. But this goes for all the physical stats. When he has a ton of venom in his body, almost as much as his body can handle, he's able to lift and throw a 27-ton car. Now, that's already impressive enough, because that's 54,000 pounds, but you also have to consider that he threw the thing as well, meaning that his maximum strength is probably well above that. I'd say 30 tons, if not more. So yeah, he's definitely not lacking in the strength department. Obviously, he's not too well known for his speed, but he has been said to have a superhuman, at least some sort of superhuman degree of speed. So there's that as well. Obviously he does have some sort of speed, so he's not really lacking in that area either, I guess. Because, superhuman is past the point of peak physical conditions. So there you go. And when it comes to durability, his durability has fluctuated a bit over the years. It's not always that consistent. He has been able to be knocked out by Batman, who's just at peak physical condition, but then again, he has been able to survive, Super Batman, which is when Batman had Superman's powers, and he essentially, broke his everything, as Boomstick puts it, from the death battle. So yeah, he's able to, obviously he wasn't really able to get up after that, but, he was able to survive it, so that's very impressive. He's definitely not lacking in the durability department, and he was even able to take, a ton of stuff that a regular person shouldn't be able to, even without injecting venom into his body. So there's that for you as well. And he's been able to fight for hours without tiring, hours at a time, which is crazy. When it comes to his fighting ability, again, in prison, he did train a lot when it comes to fighting, and also, book smarts as well, but I'll get into that later. But when it comes to fighting, he learned a ton of different martial arts, and even created a few of them, which just adds to his unpredictability level, which is just awesome. When it comes to his intelligence, he read and, studied a lot of things in prison, so he's a master strategist. He's very well educated in different maths and sciences, and as I've said before, he has learned a lot of martial arts over the years by reading and studying and practicing. So yeah, he's a very smart guy. Even though he is strong, he is extremely smart as well, and he has been shown to analyze his opponents as he's fighting them, and he might be able to exploit their weaknesses should he be able to. And obviously Bane has fought a lot of different characters. Generally he just fights Batman, but he has fought some other characters, even characters that pose a real physical threat to him, which again is pretty hard considering he's extremely durable and extremely strong. But yeah, he has fought a variety of different characters. Generally Batman, but he has fought more characters than just Batman. I'd say that Bane's biggest weakness is just the fact that he lacks some versatility. Obviously, he does know a lot of different martial arts, and even a few that he created himself, so that does add to his versatility and unpredictability levels. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't have a lot of stuff like shooting laser beams out of his hands, or being able to fly, or doing anything like that. He's basically just a very strong, very, very good fighter-y, I don't even know, but he's a good fighter, he's extremely strong, he's extremely durable, but that's basically it. He doesn't have any, supernatural powers that would add to that. But from what he lacks in versatility, he makes up for in basically everything else. Again, even without Venom, he was so strong and so durable before, but now with Venom, he's so much better, extremely strong, extremely durable, extremely smart, and extremely good fighter, and that just makes for an overall well-rounded villain when it comes to, what you're able to do. And that's definitely not something that you want to come into contact with if you're fighting someone in a one-on-one battle to the absolute death. Alright, so now that I said Bane stuff, now let's move on to Johnny Cage. So Johnny Cage, I believe, his main origin is that, he was an actor before. Again, I don't know everything about Johnny Cage, but I'll do my absolute best. So I believe he was an actor before, and he joined the Mortal Kombat tournament for the sole purpose of getting his acting career back on track. So basically, he was an actor before he was, like, a full-fledged fighter. But, now he's a fighter, so that's pretty cool, or at least, he fights more often than he did, something like that. Again, I'm not 100% sure of really anything I'm saying right now, but I'm going to try my best. So even though he is a regular person, he has been said to have superhuman powers, which implies that he has some degree of superhuman strength, speed, durability, agility, endurance, again, all that good stuff. So yeah, when it comes to strength, he has performed a lot of different fatalities and brutalities which show off his strength, and he has been able to fight, a lot of characters in the Mortal Kombat tournament, so even that just shows how strong he would have to be in order to hold a candle to some of those characters. But yeah, he has been said to have, and I'll get into the fatalities and brutalities later in the video, but obviously it is clear that he does have a very high degree of strength. And again, he's not that well known for his agility, or even just durability for that matter, but he has taken a lot of punishment, including like heavy punches and heavy energy blasts as well. And again, he has been said to have some sort of superhuman speed, so yeah, there you go, there's that for you as well. So yeah, he's definitely not lacking in really any form of physical stats, so yeah, there's that. And when it comes to his fighting ability, I believe the fighting style that he's most comfortable with, or at least the one that he uses most often, is karate, but he does know a lot of other martial arts as well. Like, I don't know the exact number, but I do know that it's a lot, so he can switch between the martial arts if he feels like, for some reason karate isn't working for him, or if someone like has a perfect counter to that, he obviously does have an unpredictability and versatility level, at least when it comes to fighting, his fighting styles. However, he does also have a lot of other versatility stuff that he can use. He has some different energy powers, which I'll get into later, and, some weapons, which is actually kind of weird because karate, from what my understanding is that karate is essentially empty-handed fighting. So it's kind of weird that that's the main martial art he uses, yet he carries weapons with him. So that's kind of weird, at least in my opinion. But now let's talk about the weapons. So the weapons that he has a pistol that he carries with him. He has an oversized Bowie knife, which can be used as just a slashing weapon or even just a projectile. We can just use it just as a regular knife. He also has brass knuckles that he can use, which can increase the power of his strikes. And he also has nunchucks, just like a regular black pair of nunchucks. So if he does want to use some of his other weapons, he definitely can, though it is, like, let me just make this perfectly clear, he is just as deadly without them. Like, seriously, this guy, he's extremely strong, extremely durable, he can take a lot of punishment and can give a lot of punishment as well. Speaking of giving punishment, he can also augment some of his abilities, turning them into, like, shadow attacks. Like, I believe he can do, like, a green shadow kick and a red shadow kick and, like, some sort of shadow uppercut as well. So we can augment his abilities, to give himself even more strength, and he can propel himself forward, also adding to his striking power. So, not only is he strong when it comes to just lifting things and striking things, but he can also just augment that and make himself even more powerful. So, yeah, again, again, you know, when it comes to strength, this guy is much better than meets the eye. You know, he just looks like a regular guy. But, you know, even though he might just be a regular person, he does have superhuman abilities. So, yeah, and he can augment them further just with his shadow abilities, you know, whatever that means. Again, I don't know a lot about this character. But yeah, so he has that with him as well. And he also has, like I said, he has some sort of energy attacks. He has a wide variety. Like, I believe he can almost, like, shoot some sort of energy orbs, something like that, or energy balls. I'm not 100% sure. And he can also just shoot, like, direct energy. I believe he also, at least one point or another, he's been able to absorb his energy, which can allow him to take, like, a lot more punishment and can just overall make him more powerful. Although Raiden, the God of Thunder, has stated that he believes that this can really only work if a loved one is in danger. And while that might not be 100% accurate, I do believe that he wouldn't really be able to do this unless, you know, the motivation is there. Meaning that's not something he can do whenever he wants, unlike shooting energy or, you know, using his weapons. It's something that he would really need the motivation in order to unlock, you guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, he has that as well. Now I'm going to talk about the fatalities and brutalities. Now, over the games, he's had way too many for me to list all of them right here, but I will list a few of them. And obviously, this showcases his strength. So, you know, he can, everything that he does here means that he should be able to do it. You know, that means he has the strength to do it, obviously, because he's doing it. So he's been able to uppercut someone's head off. He's been able to rip someone's torso off. He's been able to kick someone's torso off, or at least kick a portion of it off. He's even been able to, like, pick up someone, bend them around his shoulders, and actually, like, explode them into pieces, which is, like, impossible. And one of my favorites, which I believe is one of his brutalities, I believe what I've mentioned there are all fatalities, but one of my favorite brutalities, he's actually able to give someone like a nut punch, which will actually make their head come off, which again is completely impossible, but Johnny Cage is able to do it. So yeah, that's crazy. And obviously I have looked at some of the other brutalities and fatalities. Again, I'm not going to list all of them because that would take way too long. Those are just some of my favorites, or the ones that stand out to me. But I have looked over them and I do know quite a few of them, but I just decided I'm not going to go too much into detail with all of them because again, that would just take way too long. And when it comes to his experience, obviously Johnny Cage has fought a lot of different characters in the Mortal Kombat tournament. You know, just being able to be in the Mortal Kombat tournament speaks volumes because again, he's just a regular person, but he's able to stand up to characters like Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Baraka and other characters in the Mortal Kombat tournament. So his experience levels are pretty high as he's able to fight like a wide variety of characters. And even gods, you know, like Raiden, the Elder God. I guess his main weakness was probably his airheadedness. He's not really the smartest fighter. He's not really all like overly educated, you know, unlike Bane. You know, I guess I just said that there, even though I'm not supposed to compare the characters yet, but he's not, like, overly educated. Obviously, fighting is the exception, but he's not the smartest fighter, he's not the most educated person out there, and he does sometimes crack jokes on the battlefield, not taking the fights all too seriously, so that's probably the main weakness that Johnny Cage has. But again, Johnny Cage has proven time and time again that you don't need to be overly smart in order to kick some ass. He's been able to fight so many different characters in the Mortal Kombat tournament. He's extremely strong and fast and durable and has a lot of versatility, you know, being able to switch up his fighting style and using his energy attacks and his weapons. So again, this is one guy that, you know, you do not want to mess with. Even though he might be one of the weaker characters in the Mortal Kombat universe, he's still extremely powerful for a regular person's standard, and definitely not someone you want to come into contact with in a one-on-one battle to the death. Okay, so now that I've talked about both of these characters, now it's time for me to judge who I feel would win, you know, at least to the best of my ability. So first I'm going to go over the categories that they're about even in, or there's not really a huge edge that one of these two characters have. And those two advantages, or those two categories, I guess I should say, are speed and fighting ability. So when it comes to speed, neither of them really use speed that much to their advantage when it comes to an actual fight, and both of them seem to be about the same in terms of speed. If I had to give one, you know, if I had to give one character the advantage in speed, I would probably have to give it to Johnny Cage, just because he can propel himself forward, which obviously not only adds to his speed, but also increases his striking ability, and also just because he's smaller, likely meaning that he has more agility than Bane does, and, you know, he's just probably faster. But again, it's like a very small edge. It's not something so huge, like, worth noting down, you know, oh, this is why this character should win. You know, it's not really that big of an advantage. And when it comes to fighting ability, again, it's about the same. If I had to give someone someone the advantage in this, it would have to be Bane, simply because he created his own martial arts, which would add to his unpredictability level. I don't believe one character knows more martial arts than the other one does, but I just feel that overall, yes, Bane, since he's created his own martial arts, that just adds more to his unpredictability when it comes to that. But again, nothing too huge of a gap. However, when it comes to their other advantages, each character does have significant advantages over the other, and when I look at all of it together, I do personally believe that Bane would be the winner of this fight, which I'm actually not that happy with. Not because I'm rooting for Johnny Cage. In fact, I'm not really rooting for either of these two characters. But if I was, the reason why I would probably prefer Johnny Cage to win this fight is because then, if I did, I might have missed something for Johnny Cage, something incredible that he did, which might change the outcome. However, if I'm already saying that Johnny Cage would win, then it wouldn't really matter if I missed something, because, that would just add on more reasoning for why Johnny Cage would win. However, from what I know, at least, I personally do believe that Bane would win. And again, this is just my opinion, which means I have to use what I know. And let me just please first explain why I believe that Bane would win this fight. So first, let's go over what advantages Johnny Cage has over Bane. So Johnny Cage, from what I understand, the biggest advantage that Johnny Cage has over Bane is versatility. By far, he has the extreme versatility advantage. As I said before, Bane's main weakness is that he's not too versatile. He does know a lot of different martial arts, but he doesn't have any supernatural abilities. However, Johnny Cage carries a number of different weapons and has a number of different energy attacks. So obviously he does have the versatility advantage. The other main advantage that I feel that Johnny Cage has over Bane is experience. Simply just because he's been in the Mortal Kombat tournament, that means that already speaks volumes. You already know that this guy has fought a ton of different powerful characters. However, with that being said, it is worth noting that he hasn't beaten all of them. In the canon, he hasn't beaten every single character. He has beaten, I'm not going to list all of them, but I know he's beaten characters like Sonya and Baraka, and even Shinnok, who I feel is, I'm not 100% sure who that is. I'm pretty sure he's pretty powerful, though. Someone can correct me if you want to. However, there are characters extremely powerful characters like Scorpion and Shao Kahn. While he has fought them, he hasn't beaten them. So, yeah, that's worth noting as well. While he has fought a lot of characters, he hasn't necessarily beaten all of them. He hasn't beaten the more powerful ones. But that makes sense, because he's not the strongest character in the Mortal Kombat world. Definitely not. Now, let's talk about basically the main reasons why I feel Bane would win, the advantages that Bane has. First of all, let's talk about strength. Now, obviously, like I said, I have looked at the other fatalities and brutalities that Johnny Cage has done. However, most of them, I feel that, uppercutting someone's head off and ripping someone's torso off, I feel stuff like that, Bane would be able to do all of that as well with ease. Now, there are some things that don't really make sense. I do not feel that Bane would be able to punch someone's nuts and have their head fly off. But, that kind of stuff doesn't really make that much sense, and in all honesty, it doesn't really show a lot of strength. It's just more of a creative thing that the creators of Mortal Kombat wanted to throw in there. I'm looking more at the fatalities that would showcase how strong Johnny Cage is. And when I look at all of those, I personally just feel that everything that Johnny Cage will be able to do, Bane would be able to do as well, possibly even easier. Remember, this is the guy that can lift and throw 27 tons. That's 54,000 pounds, which means that if we do, just ignore that he was able to throw the dang car, and that he was, and let's just say that's his maximum strength, lifting level, then that means he'd be able to lift literally 18 3,000-pound cars, which is ridiculous. He'd be able to lift all of them all at once. And even if we just want to say, maybe the cars, maybe you're just, saying the cars are, not 3,000, let's say the cars are 5,000 pounds, having it even, bigger cars. That would still mean he's able to lift nearly 11 of these cars. No matter how you slice it, he's able to lift 54,000 pounds, 27 tons. And remember, he threw the car, meaning that he'd probably be able to lift even more than that. Like I said, 30 tons at least. Is probably his maximum lifting strength. And I personally just don't see Johnny Cage being able to do that. Johnny Cage, again, he is extremely strong, and even in his own world, he is able to stand up against extremely powerful characters. I just feel like even when he's augmenting his strength, Bane can just keep getting more venom and keep getting stronger. So I just feel that even if Bane does feel he's in trouble, and again, this goes for all of his stats, if he does feel like he's in trouble, he can just keep getting more venom and, just keep getting stronger, keep getting more durable. Which leads me into my next advantage that I feel Bane has, which is durability. Now, again, like, Johnny Cage does have a lot of versatility, and he can use a lot of different things against Bane. However, Bane, I feel, has been able to survive a lot of what Johnny Cage would be able to throw at him. I feel like he has survived energy attacks before. Remember, he's fought Super Batman, Batman with Superman's powers, and he has been able to take extremely huge amounts of punishment, and, he has been able to take energy attacks. I believe he's even been able to take, like, bullet wounds even without using Venom. And remember, when you put Venom into the equation, that just makes his durability even greater, especially when he adds more to it. So I just feel that there isn't a lot that Johnny Cage would be able to do against Bane that would really, limit, I feel like his durability, honestly, is just too much for Johnny Cage. And on the flip side of the coin, I feel that, Bane, being able to, break someone's back, without any problems, and, just being able to lift, up to 27 tons, he might be able to honestly rip Johnny Cage apart. I know that Johnny Cage has been able to take energy attacks and a lot of punishment from other characters, but so has Bane. And I feel that Bane can honestly overpower Johnny Cage's durability, whereas on the flip side, I just don't feel that Johnny Cage would be able to overpower Bane's. And again, when it comes to durability, if you're not able to overtax someone's durability, it's really hard to kill someone, and this is a battle to the death. Again, maybe I'm missing some huge strength feat of Johnny Cage's. Maybe I'm missing some huge durability feat of Johnny Cage's. But from what I understand, this is what I know, and this is what I understand. I personally feel that Bane does have the significant advantages in both strength and durability. Now let's move on to the final thing, the final advantage that I feel that Bane has over Johnny Cage, which I honestly feel might even be the biggest advantage, and that, some of you may already know this, is intelligence. Now, some of you, again, may know that, when Bane, gets more venom into his system, he starts, his intelligence starts decreasing, and, when his strength and everything else increases. However, he actually once created a venom serum that didn't turn his brain into mush, as Boomstick puts it, in the death battle. So, yeah, now he actually has some form of venom that doesn't do that to him, meaning he can keep getting stronger and more durable without running the risk of becoming dumber or, removing his strategic prowess from the equation. And again, Bane is extremely smart in pretty much all aspects. Book smarts, some strategy smarts, being able to fight extremely well. And really, Johnny Cage only is able to fight extremely well. He's not the best strategist. He's not overly educated like Bane is. I just feel that Bane has the overwhelming, intelligence advantage and strategy advantage over Johnny Cage. And, eventually, through the fight, he'd recognize what Johnny Cage's main weakness is. He'd probably recognize that, sooner or later, he'd recognize that the main weakness is simply that he's not as strong or as durable as him. Obviously, Bane is at a disadvantage, when they're at a distance, because Bane doesn't really have any range attacks unless he, ground slams the floor or something like that, or ground slams the ground. But, obviously, Johnny Cage, I say obviously a lot, Johnny Cage is able to, he might be able to keep him at a distance, but because there's speed advantage, because Johnny Cage doesn't really have that much of a speed advantage, I feel that if Bane wanted to get in close, he definitely would be able to. And, again, Bane is at a disadvantage when they're at a distance, but Bane is smart enough to realize that he has to get out of there. He has to get closer to Johnny Cage, and that's where, obviously Bane, I say obviously a lot, my god, he would be able to, he has the big advantage when it comes to, fist fighting, up close fighting, because he has the strength advantage and the durability advantage. And again, this is all just assuming that Johnny Cage would think to keep him at a distance. But again, he cracks jokes on the battlefield. He's not that smart overall. So yeah, I just personally feel that because of the strength, durability, and smarts advantage that Bane has over Johnny Cage, I just feel like he'd be able to overpower Johnny Cage. And honestly, Johnny Cage, I feel, would not really be able to overpower Bane in really any single way, unless he would be smart enough to keep him at a distance. But again, I don't even feel that's really all that, likely, just because Bane would be smart enough to get in close, and he doesn't have a huge speed or agility advantage over Bane, in my opinion anyway. So yes, overall, Johnny Cage is extremely powerful. You know, he has been able to stand up to many characters in the Mortal Kombat tournament. He is extremely strong for a regular person, and he's extremely versatile. However, overall, you know, if you can't kill your opponent, then you can't kill them. You can't overpower the durability. And because of Bane's durability, I just feel that there's not really much that Johnny Cage will be able to do to hurt Bane. And, you know, if Bane does feel he's in trouble, he can just keep getting more venom, which would add to his already insane strength and durability. And because he has his extreme intelligence advantage over Johnny Cage, I honestly feel that it wouldn't be that long before Bane would be able to recognize what Johnny Cage's weakness is, and then he'd be able to put Johnny Cage down for good. So, in my opinion, the winner is Bane. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, I don't know a ton about Johnny Cage, and I might have gotten some things wrong, or I might have missed something, like, extremely crucial, you know, who knows. But if I did, you know, feel free to tell me in the comments below, because I'm more than willing to hear what you guys have to say. And, you know, then I get to learn more about Johnny Cage, and, you know, that's pretty cool. And if I missed something about Bane, you know, you can tell me that in the comments below as well. So, you know, yeah, you can tell me anything you really want to. If I missed something crucial, tell me in the comments below, you know, why not? If you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a like. Comment down below what you thought of it. You know, comment down, you know, what you liked, what you didn't like. You know, if you agree, if you disagree. If you do disagree, tell me why in the comments below. Why do you think Johnny Cage would win? Honestly, I'm open to hearing what you guys have to say. This is all opinionated, even the comments. And if you guys could subscribe to my channel, honestly, that'd be so great. That would really help my channel out. I make these videos as quick as I possibly can. I know, obviously, I missed a week last time. I wasn't able to get this one out, but that's because I wanted to read Johnny Cage's info as much as I could. You know, the info that I gathered and the info that, you know, that people gave me. I wanted to make sure that I got everything I possibly could. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I had enough time to do all of that. So yeah, thanks for understanding, guys. Sorry that I missed a week, but, you know, hopefully I'll be able to get back to a regular schedule soon. Hopefully, again, not making any promises, but it is summer, so, you know, who knows? We'll see what happens. And I have been volunteering as well, so that kind of eats up some of my time. But thank you guys so much for watching, because honestly, your view is plenty of contribution anyway. It really means so much to me that you guys watch the videos, so thank you guys so much for watching. It really means so much to me. And next time on Who'd Win and Why, we got Splinter facing off against Shifu. See you all then.